I'd like to welcome everybody to the November edition of the Tips and Tricks SIG. We'll have our open forum and then we'll go in through and cover some of the topics that I sent out in an email to everybody. Before we had started our meeting, I was discussing the topic of bin stores, that is, stores that's retail sell Amazon return items. And people were looking them up and seeing where they're at. Bob Primack, is there any near you?
I haven't been looking. I don't know.
Okay. I was just going to ask you to Google it while you're over there. Look up Amazon bin store and see if anything shows up. You don't have to tell me you're going to go to one, but just what's out by Boston is curiosity. And
Well, let's find out.
Pete, did you find any by you?
We don't actually have an Amazon one, but there's a lot of resale stores.
Okay. And they're not necessarily resale like, like they'll buy and resell items, but this is a similar concept here.
No, actually, I was wrong. There is an Amazon bin store, and there's a lot of similar ones. It's called Bin Street LLC, Bin and Pallet Company, Dub Bin Store, Good Bins, Liquidation, Lucky Bins, the Honey Bins Company, Wild Bins.
I've been to Dubbins. Dubbins is in Wisconsin. They have several stores up there. I think there's one in Green Bay. The one I know that I went to in La Crosse was up there.
Okay, I have the answer. There is a store pretty close to Boston, which is a bin store. It looks like it's an Amazon bin store. It's in Avon, Massachusetts, which is near Quincy, which is just south of Boston.
Okay.
There also is a Black Friday bin store in Westfield, which is near Springfield, which is center of the state.
Okay.
Taunton is an area that's sort of southwest of it's sort of southwest of Boston, and it has an Amazon bin store. So yeah, there's about 3 or 4.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Like I said, I never looked in your market yet, so I was curious to see.
Yeah.
It's a good day if if you feel like blowing a few hours. And there's a lot of stuff to look through. A lot of cases, cell phone cases, and glass. The glass that goes over the cell phones, and iPad covers, and iPad glass and stuff. Protective glass. A lot of that in there. One of them I went to had a lot of car parts. Could be stuff for a dash. It could be stuff for the console. I've seen, camshafts and stuff in there. I'm like, ooh, this is crazy that this stuff is in Amazon, but you never know what you'll find there. So
It was worth the price of admission, Sanford.
the admission is free, so that made it worth the price of admission. And I killed off a couple hours. It was a good time, and I'm trying not to go back. So.
I see.
All right,
I see. I see it's advertised on some of them. They start out at like $10 on Friday,
Right.
then $9 on Sunday. By the time it gets to Thursday, it's down to like a couple bucks.
Okay. And the one by me is like by Friday. I think Friday is their last day. It's 99 cents. I think Dubbins up in Wisconsin, their last day, they give you an IKEA bag and say fill it up for $10.
Well, the dollar store is no longer a dollar,
Yeah. Well. So, all right. Who'd like to open up the floor with the first question of the evening?
Well, I investigated that one link on using your TV USB port.
Yes.
I thought that was very fascinating, and but that I can go on from that. But let's hear somebody else what they thought. You had a long list of great topics.
Anyone?
Well, let me elaborate on it a little bit, and maybe somebody will think of something. I went and to the web page, and there was I'm trying to think. Well, I logged in. I think it was a Facebook page, and I asked a question. I had, they're talking about what you could do with the USB port on your smart TVs, and of course, yeah, I guess they didn't say how, but they said there's a third party app. So because if you just plug in you know, uh, a VLC video, the TV's not going to recognize it. If you plug it in there, if you put a picture in there, I guess it recognizes it. But I asked a question. I have a satellite DVR, and it's got a USB and a SATA port on it. And I have 100. I'm fascinated about how the universe works. I've got about 90 videos on the universe. I keep bumping my DVR. It's at nine, like 2-3% left. I have to keep deleting something, and I wanted to download those. They're off the Science Channel. It's not a subscription channel, but I mean it comes with the service. And I wanted to know how to if I could download those, and then secondly, ideally eliminate it because a third of it is commercials. But I haven't heard any response back yet. That's the end of my story.
So to clarify, you have DirecTV,
Yes.
and part of your subscription is like the Sci-Fi Channel. What you want to do is you want to download the content or a video, a show, and save it locally.
Yeah, because I have it on the DVR now. I have 82
Okay,
1 hour presentations.
So you already have them saved on your DVR.
Correct.
Your next question is, can you offload it off the DVR to an external device?
Right.
Anyone have any experience working with a DirecTV console? I see a lot of shaking heads that say no. Nobody here has DirecTV.
Well, I know I can, record them like analog, from a camera, it'd be digital if I recorded it and then edit it that way, take my smartphone and just put it on a stand in front of the TV and then later edit that because I think those are MPEG-4 videos on the smartphone. But they're all on the DVR now. Now maybe they're compressed. I don't know. They do have a cloud service. It's called it's called Direct. Comcast has it too, where they have these things in the cloud. But if you download them from the cloud, the same shows, you can't do any of the fast forward or backup features. Once you just, I forget what it's called, but it's in the cloud and you play it. It's at least you can get it if you want to. But it's not like the original. Original, I can use the forward and back up and pause and all that stuff.
Sounds like these are restrictions implemented by DirecTV.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they pay for Science Channel and they pay for the History Channel. Obviously, they pay a fee for that. And I'm sure it is copyrighted. But I was trying to do it not for just my personal use because I keep filling up my DVR. But I don't want to erase the shows. My friend says, get rid of them. You already watched them. Watch them. I don't know. I can't do that.
If it's content that is from a cable channel, that is to say, not free TV, not over the air, you have no legal right to own a copy.
Right. I know that.
And you cannot transfer from any DVR, no matter what your service.
Yeah.
Those are DRM.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're digital rights managed.
Yeah, DRM, right. Well,
and if it's DRM, you cannot do anything with it.
Well, I know physically I can put my smartphone and record it, when I'm playing it. But I don't want to do that.
Even that is supposedly.
I know it's illegal.
No, I don't think it's even possible because HDMI has copy protection in it.
No, I've already done it.
Then you must have taken a video of it while it was
Yeah.
playing on a monitor. Okay,
No,
that's going to be very low quality, but yeah, you can do it. But
well, not,
you won't get good sound out of that.
well, I don't know, it's good enough. I put my smartphone, my S24 phone on a little stand, an
Yeah.
actual camera stand mount, and I have a little remote with the S24. It uses a pen remote, and I start it. The only problem is when you stop it, it doesn't. There's no pause. You stop it, and then it starts up again. You're starting another segment, so they're not
Yeah.
home again. But if you do want to commercials, I could do it. But I don't want to do it for 91 hours.
Is this shows you can get from the library?
Well, I actually purchased a few on Amazon. I don't know about the library. I wouldn't think so. I could check, but I purchased a few of them on Amazon. They're not expensive, but they don't really have all the shows. I was surprised Amazon has. I purchased, about 6 of them out of the 91. It's
Okay.
really fascinating. I'll be honest.
What's the name of give me a name of the show?
It's called How the Universe Works.
How the universe works. So let's
Right.
see.
And then there's each show is well, the one I watched today, it was, it had to do with the Mars landers, and then we have others. Well, no, that wasn't How the Universe. How the Universe Works is typically about the cosmos, how we all started. I've been studying genealogy. I'm not an expert at it, but the ultimate genealogy is not just where your parents were born, but how the universe started.
Okay, the answer is yes. How the Universe Works is available on DVD and through the library network.
Oh, well, I'll have to check it
So
out.
there's multiple seasons. I see season 1, I see season 2, season 3. That's all I see that's available through my local library.
Yeah, and even Amazon doesn't have the current ones. I have some that go back to 2015, and the most current ones on Amazon are like 2020 or something like that. There's not the most current.
Okay, so these are actually produced by the Discovery Channel,
Yeah.
not Sci-Fi Channel.
No, well, Science Channel, not
Or
Sci-Fi.
Science Channel. I gotcha. So you could get these they even available on Blu-ray.
Yeah. No,
So instead of trying to do what you want to do, just check it out from the library. Then there's no commercials. I'm assuming
I'll look into it. I only looked at Amazon. I didn't think of the library consortiums,
the library consortium has a tremendous amount of material that's available. I employ or tell everybody, go check it out. If you're trying to find something, that's a great place to go. Your local library is an excellent resource. And often, if it's been published or broadcast over the air or on cable, they probably should be able to get a copy of it somehow.
Yeah.
Unless
they're
it's
not inexpensive. I wouldn't mind buying them all, really, truthfully.
But like I said, you could get them right from the library. You could hold on to them for many weeks, to watch them all, rewatch them again. You could always check them out again when you need to. And it's free. You're already paying for it.
No, I love the idea of not having the commercials because my time is valuable. I don't want to spend, 20 minutes watching. The nice thing, if I delay watching it, you can fast forward.
Right.
Which is what I do. Thank you. That's 2 good tips. Price is worth the price of admission today again.
Next question, new direction. Oh, man, this is a tough crowd tonight. Come on, guys. Help me out here.
I have a Roku that I bought, and I've hooked it up to a TV that it's not hooked up to my cable.
Uh-huh.
So it uses HDMI and it uses Wi-Fi to pick up the various different TV channels.
Is this the new Roku?
It's one of the newer ones. I think this is like a year old.
Okay, well, that's just the remote. That's not the
Yeah,
device.
well, it's got a little box, that plugs into it. It's got a power supply, and then it's got HDMI that hooks to HDMI on the back of the TV.
And do you like the Roku?
Well, I'm not in my office that long, so I haven't been using it. I got involved with a year ago. My wife was wanting to, get off of the cable, and so I bought a bunch of fire sticks from Amazon, but it was too complicated for her, so she went back to sticking with the cable.
Okay.
Well, I can speak to it if you want. I have several of them, Rokus.
You want to give us some tips about the Rokus?
Well, first of all, you have to have your TV connected to the internet, and then, or you have to have internet rather, and then of course you associate the Roku with the internet. And what I was using it for, I'm not using it so much anymore because the TVs have most of the features with Roku. In fact, there's a Chinese TV, TCL, that has a Roku app built in. And you have a free account, and you could watch a number of competitive shows like Hulu, and even if you have Amazon Prime, you get most of their stuff for free. And if you didn't have a smart TV, you would need a Roku to access those services.
Yeah.
But what the newest one I got it's actually voice. They're actually voice operated. You could talk to it. Say go to
Yeah.
like I also subscribe to what's the I'm drawing a blank now. The one is subscription, the one with all the movies.
Netflix?
Netflix, yeah. And so the voice thing works within the Roku app, but of course it doesn't work into the Netflix app. And in the latest one I have, it looks like a dongle. It has an HDMI, little short, plugs into the back of your HDMI, and I think there's a power connection you could plug it into the USB port on the TV if you want, or a separate one. And but I don't use it because in the last year I've gotten 2 smart TVs, and YouTube. I love YouTube, and I haven't subscribed to YouTube, but I'm anxious to subscribe. I love YouTube. There's another. That's a bountiful. I mean, you could just live on YouTube all day, frankly. I would encourage you to play around with it. You'll, especially if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch some movies. But I'm not into movies. I'm into technology stuff, and the YouTube thing. If you want technology, I'm into ham radio. There's not enough hours in a day for me to soak it up.
So, Carl, you are aware that we do post our videos on YouTube, that we have our own channel.
No, I'm not aware of it. Of course, I'm not surprised.
Okay, so the Chicago Computer Society has its own channel on YouTube where we post the videos of our meetings, like tonight. Tonight's meeting, at the conclusion, will be encapsulated, and then it'll be uploaded and be available in a few days on YouTube. So I encourage you to go and check us out.
I will.
You could Google us on YouTube. You could go look for the Chicago Computer Society, or just look at the email that you got from us with the invitation to join the link to tonight's meeting.
Yeah.
And down in the bottom, you'll see a link to the playlist for our for the meetings, for the tips and tricks.
Okay. Yeah.
So I encourage you to go and check that out, or anybody else here who has not checked out our YouTube channel. We have, I don't remember, Let me go take a quick look. I forgot how many videos we got up there. Help me out, Tim. How many videos we got?
More than one.
You,
More than one. Give me a moment. I
well,
just
well,
got to check.
what typically you have what, one a month?
No.
One a week?
There are
We
5
have
groups.
182 videos posted.
We have 5 different groups. Each one is per month, but there are some issues where a meeting may not take place because of like Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July as examples.
Yes, Bert.
Just as a follow-up to the Roku, you can get Roku on your, I get it on my iPhone.
Oh,
And I can watch any Roku apps right on there, and it's not like a premium. I've got a regular kind of service. The Roku is plugged into the back of my TV in the HDMI and also to a power source. And that works, I guess, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to my phone.
do you have to pay for that service?
No, but there may be certain apps on there you have to pay for or get the premium service.
I
But
see.
there's plenty of things, that series that I watch. I watched the whole series of Bones, which was I don't know, 20 some years or something like that, of 22 episodes a month.
A year.
Wow. Did not know you could get the Roku app on your phone.
On an iPhone you can, so I assume there may be something on Android.
Okay.
Bert, you were talking about the connection being by Bluetooth, so that's from the device.
I'm not sure how it's connecting. I don't
Yeah,
know. It works between my phone and the TV. Even if the TV isn't on, I mean,
yeah,
because the app is connected to the TV, it works wirelessly.
Do you have the
yeah.
Apple TV?
No,
Oh, okay.
I've got an old junk TV. As a matter of fact, Toshiba from
Mhm.
probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you have an app on your phone,
Yes,
but that app actually is receiving from the device.
I see here. I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
anything, but that's the app.
yeah. Well, that doesn't tell me how it's connecting
And I'm
with the
not sure
device,
how it's connecting.
or whether it has its own connection to the cloud. I think it's with the device, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You can still watch stuff on your phone.
Right. And it's like TV on your phone. And of
Yeah,
course, there's many things that do that now, but I just wanted to point out that there's this extra feature if you want to use it.
yeah. The trouble with a phone is it's got most phones have an awfully small screen, and it's hard to see details.
Well, I have a iPhone Max, Pro Max, so it's what it is.
Yeah,
Well, let me interject. Two things. One is the app is available in the Play Store on Android, the Roku app, remote app. And, but I'm not sure if that means you can, it must be the Roku, app, not a not a remote control app. And what I do, in fact, sometimes with my smart TV, and if I'm watching something on YouTube, the TV it'll project what's the name? It projects it to the TV. It syncs up with the TV, and it's automatically on the TV. So you can watch whatever is on your phone, on your screen, on your TV. It's what's the word? The casting. We used
yes,
to
that's
call it
called cast.
casting. And
Google calls that casting. I think there may be another word for it if it's an
yeah,
iPhone.
it's syncs up with it. And one thing I found, because I like watching like Tech for Seniors, they have a YouTube channel on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And it's not, there is a chat, along the side of it, um what, I can't think of the name but at any rate, but on the phone you can't see it. and you can't see it on your TV either. So that is the limitation you're talking about, Bob. That maybe you could still on the TV, but you still don't have access to like the chat, to go side second. What the hell did they call it? Our thing starts with a D, not a Debian, uh, it's kind of like a Zoom activity. It's
Hmm.
drawing a blank. It'll come to me in a minute or two. But at any rate, uh, but I do like casting. And this show is on my big screen TV. I have a 77-inch TV, and you guys are in glorious OLED. OLED, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Going
change
from
my
the
background.
going from the phone to the TV is just yeah, that works very well. And yeah, there are also ways of going back and forth between TV and phone to TV if you use something like the old Google Chromecasts and various other devices.
Well,
I have something called a TiVo Stream, which has its own selection of channels, and you can add apps.
I'm using my laptop. Otherwise, you can't talk to the TV. Although some of them, I guess, have microphones. But I'm talking to you, but I have it on large screen. And what is nice about it is that if I'm not talking to you and I'm doing something in the room, I'm whatever, opening my mail or whatever, I can still watch it on a big screen. I don't have to be sitting in one spot.
Yep.
Well, I can say I have a similar problem that I'm thinking about. I've got an Android phone. It's the Samsung S24. It's got a C port on it, and I want to use it, display it on a monitor. And it's got the monitor has the HDMI port on it. And I was thinking about getting a cable to go from the phone to the HDMI port. Do you think something like that would work?
Is your
Most
Is it a
TV
monitor or a TV?
It's just a monitor.
Most likely you can get it.
I can't hear you, Tim.
Most likely you.
You're muted.
Tim, you're muted. You're still muted, Tim. There you go.
Most likely you can get such adapters because for the computers, there's so many different ways of connecting to monitors. It's not funny. HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA still exists. DVI still exists. And a couple other ways of having video transferred from one thing to another.
Well, I think there is a USB to HDMI adapter.
Yes, there is.
I'm certain there is because USB-C is also a standard for your Thunderbolt 3 and Thunderbolt 4. I'm not sure if it was standard for Thunderbolt 2.
Yeah, but you have an Android phone. You said S24, same as me.
Yeah, but it's the same hookup. That's standard.
I have the adapter, but I've used the large HDMI to the mini HDMI. I'm trying to remember if I used it on my phone or not. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I've had the phone since March, but I can't remember that far back.
I don't know what would happen if you tried to take a phone signal and get it into a monitor. I don't know if monitors would do the right handshaking.
Well, I'm thinking the HDMI to USB-C is a way of doing it. I
It's
don't
the
know.
That's
conduit.
right. You can go from any computer that's got a Type C port and potentially go to a monitor.
Yeah,
But
a computer can do that.
yes, but I mean,
If does the phone have the internal hardware and the correct type of signal to do that?
it may or may not. I don't know. That would have to be researched.
Yeah.
Or
Dial
try
in.
it. Or try it.
Only if you've already got the part. Yes.
Yeah, if you've got the parts, try it.
Yeah. If I had the part, I wouldn't be asking the question.
Yeah,
That's all.
I do know that a Chromebook can definitely connect to a bigger monitor, and they operate. However, they send out a signal that's similar to a laptop.
Well, of course, if it's USB, you could change the form factor. USB to USB wouldn't be an issue, whether it's type A or B or C,
What
because electrically it's going to be the same,
Yeah.
just the form factor that would be different.
What you normally do in a situation like that with a laptop or a computer or a Chromebook is you have a dock which will have these various ports, including HDMI.
Okay,
So
And the USB, the same, a single USB-C port, if it's got all the wires connected, can handle about 12 different kinds of outputs and inputs at least.
is the monitor connected to a PC?
yes,
Just use Bluetooth.
Or if the PC is running Windows, you can use the phone app. There are several apps that will let your phone be seen by the PC.
Yep.
And you can share the screen. At least if you have Windows 11, I think even Windows 10 can do that.
Yes.
yeah, Windows 10 is what I've got.
Yeah, it can take your phone content and have it on the PC, have it get into Windows, and from Windows it would go to any monitor that's attached.
Okay, thank you.
So there's both a direct way and an indirect way. The direct way, we don't know whether it would work. The indirect way through Windows will work.
Okay,
Well, I recall that I did use my phone, USB-C, and I connected it to my smart TV HDMI, and that worked. But so I don't see why it wouldn't work with a monitor. Because
Smart TV,
smart's in the phone, not the monitor. Monitor's dumb.
Smart TVs are not dumb. They're not just dumb monitors.
But I
They
mean,
have
yeah,
they have some processing power, so
Yeah.
they can take they can take more different inputs than your plain vanilla monitor.
yeah, they can handle different signal, I know.
Yeah. But the one thing they don't handle very well is direct USB input if it's a PC output,
Like an AVI file or an MPEG-4.
things of that sort.
I think the problem lies, and I think, don't without knowing, is do they have a native player built into them with the DRMs that allow them to play whatever it is that's being supplied to them?
And I can't tell you whether smart TVs do,
Yeah,
but old-fashioned TVs didn't.
right.
Okay, one thing I can tell you about the monitor is I do use it as a TV with cable. So, with the antenna, not cable, with the antenna, it goes right into it and I can watch digital TV channels.
That's the right way to do it.
Yeah,
The over the air. Get the free stuff.
that's what I do.
That's what I get, the free stuff.
And that's why I want to use the phone that way, because I've got, what is it called? Something called Tubi. And I can watch real fancy movies on it, but, on something this small, you can ruin your eyes.
Well, that you can.
So if I can get the same thing and look on it on a 17-inch monitor, there you go. Now I can see it without hurting my eyes too much.
Or you could just get a streaming device and watch it on your TV.
Well, I don't have a TV, but that's okay.
Oh, your monitor is your only TV.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
So the digital airwaves, the digital channels go through my monitor.
Gotcha.
So it's like an old picture-in-picture monitor.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Like an old picture-in-picture monitor where you could have multiple inputs.
Yes.
Let's ask the group here, take a quick survey before Wayne falls asleep.
Wake up, Wayne.
Sorry, Wayne, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I know you weren't falling asleep. You were just off topic there. Roku, I wanted to know what streaming devices do people use? Now, we heard Roku is one of them. Who else has other kind of streaming devices that they'd like to tell us that they use? Bob Primack.
I have a TiVo Stream.
TiVo Stream.
TiVo Stream just simply has a different universe of apps. Otherwise, it's very similar to Chromecast. I also own a Chromecast, though I
Okay.
haven't hooked it up in a long time. But those are two that I use.
The TiVo Stream, can you tell us about that? Is that a subscription service? Is it a one-off? Do you have to pay for it? Like you just buy the device and you're done? What goes on with that? How's that work?
You buy the device, and it has some free channels, and then others would be subscription. It's one of the few things TiVo does that do not require a subscription to TiVo.
Okay.
In other words, you're not necessarily using their guide or anything. So it's just a streaming device.
So it does not do over-the-air type SIG or broadcast TV at all. It doesn't display
No, it's
that?
not. It's not designed for that.
Okay.
It's not like the regular TiVo devices that have their own tuners and things like that. There's no tuner in it.
So what is the advantage of the TiVo Stream?
You instead of relying on the over-the-air channels, which is what the TiVo device does, unless you have the cable card, in which case you can use your cable channels. Instead of using that, it uses the streaming services, and most of the networks have streaming services, which carry some of their shows, though not every one. You cannot get the local news on TiVo Stream or anything like that. However, you can reach out to the internet and get internet channels.
And how much did this device, if you remember, what did it cost you in a round number
I can tell you what the current pricing is.
or current pricing?
Okay. TiVo Stream pricing. $40.
$40. There you go. Not an expensive investment. Okay. Who else
And all it does is it just aggregates your apps in one place. And you can. Let's see what else it will do. It does the usual channels that are available as app channels. And like I say, you can add things that come from the internet if you know the address.
Okay. All right. Who else has got another streaming device? Pete, what do you got? What's common out in Hawaii? You're muted, Pete, so I can't. Pete, can't hear you. Try it again. There you go.
So
Oh, and now he
I
breaks
don't.
up.
Well, you wanted him to talk, and
I know, and we can't hear him. Pete, we didn't catch any of that.
Oh, okay. I don't stream. I don't have cable. I just have the T-Mobile internet device.
Ah, okay. So you're using
everything that-
T-Mobile as your streaming device.
Yes.
And how much is it? You have to buy that? Or that's your internet?
That's my internet.
Ah, okay. All right. And so you're running some apps on whatever devices like your computers or whatever for streaming.
Correct.
Okay.
And Margaret's doing most of the apps because she watches more movies than I do.
Okay.
And
Anyone
I think
else?
she's
Oh.
an Amazon Prime subscription, and she's got some other subscriptions. But
Anyone else here use streaming devices? I myself, in our household, we have Apple TV, which my wife's favorite. And then I use the NVIDIA Shield, which is my favorite. And those seem to work very well for all of our streaming needs.
I want to give a tip on using Roku.
Go ahead.
If you have Comcast, you can use instead of having the extra remote boxes, you can use Roku in place of that, and you can actually the Roku. There's an app that comes from Comcast. They encourage you to use Roku, and it gives you all the features of a regular, leased box. They used to be like $7 a month, but I think they're only like 4 or 5 now for a remote box. But if you have multiple TVs, or you have a TV that say is in a basement or somewhere, your outdoor cave, and you don't want to rent a box because you don't use it, you can just use the Roku. And by the way, that TiVo that you're talking about
Yeah.
is now selling for $30 at Target. They switched, it says shifted from Walmart to Target for $30. The
Yeah.
The TiVo 4K.
The trouble, are you talking about the TiVo Stream?
The TiVo, the one you mentioned for
The
40 is now
Stream.
30 at Target.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't buy through the company, you can sometimes get a discount.
But but using the Roku is in lieu of a remote. My friend uses it. She has it on 2 TVs, one in her kitchen, that she doesn't watch all the time. But it's nice when you're in the kitchen. It's a small TV, and she has one in the basement by her treadmill. It's so she was renting boxes. And there's an app you can go to YouTube. There's an app how to use Roku with Comcast, and you go on the Comcast website and you download their app and she was able to do it herself, and she's not a techie. I was impressed with her.
Yeah, Comcast does have a streaming app.
Yeah.
And it works just like I mean, you have you can access your recorded shows. They record them in the cloud, and you can do your fast forward and backup and pause.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a catch to cloud recording with Comcast. There's some of their premium channels that you don't get to do the cloud DVR with.
Yeah,
Most of the channels you can, but not everyone.
okay. Yeah, she has not, she doesn't have any, I don't have any premium channels either, but
Mine are usually
for her
just
use, it works fine. She record,
Yeah.
she whatever she likes to record,
Mhm.
she can go from one room to the other, put it on pause, if she's doing something, and
Yeah.
all with the Roku. I mean, it is, the Roku's only $30, and you can buy the one with the voice, but again, the voice doesn't help you when you're in the Comcast app. It only helps you if you're, going from apps within Roku. But she loves Comcast because it's voice control. She'll say, something, some show or movie she wants, it'll search and it finds it. It's like searching Google. She'll just use her voice command, and she goes, in my house, I have DirecTV, and she can't stand it because you have to go to search, and start using the virtual keyboard. She said, why don't you get Comcast? I said, I don't want Comcast. And actually, with DirecTV, you get well. On YouTube, you get 4K stuff on YouTube. A lot of it's from GoPro, which is 4K. And I'll tell you, with my OLED TVs, I'm a Costco poster child. Couch I'm sitting on, the stove I cook on, the refrigerator I store my food in, and the TV I watch, and the bedroom set I sleep on. I'm a Costco poster child.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about 4K is if you don't have a large screen, probably larger than 36, maybe even larger than 48 inches, you won't see the difference. And 8K, you wouldn't see the difference unless you had a 60-inch screen.
Yeah, 8K is
Ridiculous.
in fact, that's one of the things in that tip of, I don't have it in front of me. I printed out, but I think it's I tagged it on the wall of all those links you guys gave for this show.
Mhm.
And one of them was about 8K, and it said, don't do it because unless you got a huge screen like you're saying. And there's
Yeah.
not a lot of programming with it. You can't do it over the air. I mean, you can't do it over cable. You can't even do 4K over cable. You can really,
Cable is beginning to do 4K.
yeah, the new dock standard, but not everybody has it, I don't think.
What they do is they have you get a new gateway and a new. If you have a DVR, they have you get a new DVR, which is really now a cloud DVR. So you
Yeah,
don't have the local storage.
and I guess maybe you need fiber. I don't have fiber here, but I don't want it.
4K you don't need fiber, but if you wanted
Yeah,
8K, you sure would.
yeah. And it's so limited because most of the things I watch, when I watch the Science Channel and History Channel, that's not in 4 or 8K, you know. It's
Well, with
8DR, but or whatever you call it, HD, but something.
with the size TVs I have, it really wouldn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was furthering on the subject of streamers, and I wanted to just mention this one. This is the eventual replacement, I guess, for Chromecast. That is, what is that? Google Chrome.
Yeah. Google
They've
with Chromecast.
come out with this ONN Google TV. It's a 4K streaming box. You can get this. This is the Walmart website, and I think this is like $20 for this thing. Does 4K, 2 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of storage. I would get one with more RAM and more storage if it's available. But I've heard nothing but good things about this particular device that came out. This came out just this last year or in 2023. So you may want to research it. It's called ONN. It's cheap and it's supposedly very good. You got a quad core processor, GPUs, Dolby Audio, blah blah blah. Lots of good stuff. So
Yeah, Walmart is a big seller. ONN is a brand name. It's
right.
a Chinese company, and they make all kinds of adapters. And when I go to Walmart, I go by the clearance section, end up buying things that I never use, but it's a good price.
Right. Well, like you would do at a bin store, things you would never use, but they're a good price.
You know, for men, I learned this the hard way. The like men, the art of the pursuit is the deal. So I got to tell you the true story. So I looking for a year. I wanted to upgrade my media station. I have a Sony. You hook everything your DVR to it, which I don't use anymore. And you have stereo speakers, 7.1 sound and all that. And so I don't have Wi-Fi and Bluetooth to it. It's older. It's probably 10 years old. So I started researching for a newer model at Costco. They have Sony and then they have these other brand names that real super Japanese brands. I forget, like Yamaha. Anyway, I researched it and then went and looked for the best price and everything. And I bought it. And then my daughter came over one day. She said, "Dad, what's that box in the living room by the TV?" I said, "I bought that a year ago, but I haven't hooked it up yet." All of the fun is in the researching. That we love that doing that, right? And guys, we love to search in the car or whatever you're buying, your refrigerator or whatever. So she said, "Why don't you take it back?" And of course, Costco. I bought at Costco. You can take it back a year later if it's not been opened. It's fine. And the other tip with Costco, and they don't advertise it, I've taken printers back, HP printers back 3-4 years old, and they break down, and they will give you the money back, and the new one is a lot less than the one you paid for. But they won't do 5 years because I tried 5 years. 5 years, they said that's the life of the product, but they'll do 4 years. And you get a 2 year, anything you buy at Costco. I don't have stock in Costco or anything, but the thing is that you get an extra year, whatever it's a TV or whatever you buy, the refrigerator, the stove, and then you buy on top of that, So, any rate, it's I'm a poster child for Costco. Not intentionally, but they have stuff I like. The couch I'm sitting on.
Okay, we need to move on to new subjects. Anyone got any other questions for the group for open forum? All right, I'd sent out some list of topics that we could go through tonight. Carl already picked out a couple of them already that we discussed. So I'd like somebody else in the group to pick out something and let's go through it. Anyone?
Well, there is the one about your smart TV has a USB port and what you can do with it.
Okay, Carl has touched on that, but we can easily discuss this. What's it all day? What did I do there? Bear with me and I'll get this open. Make a selection.
I went to the YouTube channel on that, smart TV USB port. And what turned me off is when they said you may need third-party apps to use the port, but they didn't. It's not a YouTube how-to, do this, buy this from Amazon or whatever. It's kind of more of a product update, or I don't know, general information thing.
Well, not all smart TVs offer the same features in their USB ports.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
that's a good point. Of course, yeah.
But all of them can play media files. All of them will support personal video recorders, PVRs.
Yeah, my new LG has a remote. It kind of drives me crazy. It's voice operated, but it also has a pointer. So if if the TV opens up and it doesn't attach to your router or whatever, or streaming device, through an HDMI port, you got all kinds of things on there. But the pointer drives me crazy. It's like it's on your screen. You can't get rid of it, and I get rid of it, but I don't know how I did it.
So what they're saying here is that depending upon the TV, dictates what you can use that USB port for. Can you watch videos? Depends if the app is native in the device or the player is native in there. Can it play AVI files? Most likely they should be able to play AVI files. MPEG-4s, maybe not. And then other formats is definitely up in the question. Like KVMs, you probably won't be able to play that on there. Charge or power stuff. I guess you could use it to power some stuff or run a charging port. I've also used the USB port on the TV to power LED lighting that can go behind the TV. Anyone else use their USB port?
The classic uses are for displaying photos and things like that on your TV.
Right. Usually it should have a native like photo player or display program, kind of like a screensaver.
Hey, Sanford, scroll down and see if my posting is on there from I go by Geek Wireless. No, Carl, right there, I think.
Carl.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you. Okay.
I haven't gotten any replies.
You can also hook up a keyboard through the USB port so that you don't have to use those stupid online keyboards.
All right, so we'll give Carl. Oh, I can't give him an upvote. I got to create an account. Is that stupid? I hate that.
Oh no, you can log in using Google if you have.
Yeah, but now I got to log into their account. I didn't want to do that. I just want to give a yes.
Yeah, no, they don't want that.
Yeah, I know they don't want that. They don't want
It's
us.
they'd have robots giving me 1,000 votes a day.
Okay, anyone else want to discuss this subject? Next question, next topic.
Well, there was something, and I think Tim probably can contribute, is about the new Windows apps, the 20, or the 24, H24 or 25, Tim, I don't remember, what is it?
24H2.
24H2.
It's still buggy. You can, through certain means, legitimately download 24H2, but it's not going through the update program as yet, though I haven't checked today on my Windows 11 as to whether uh, it'll offer 24H2. But one thing they usually do is they try and get all of the updates for what you have before they give you what's new.
You
I
know,
just finished, I just
we
finished
talked,
23H2 today.
23H2 has been out for over a year.
I know, but that I just got a new update
Oh,
today.
okay. Yeah, but after you reboot and come back up, at least this was originally the way they released it. You would then go back into Windows Update and check again. It may give you the option of 24H2 upgrade, but I don't know if they've released that yet. They've found even more problems than what I reported almost a month ago.
No, it doesn't do it.
Tim, can you explain that nomenclature 23 is for what, security
It,
apps, and then H2 is for the second half of the year or something like that,
well,
or
it's the first two digits are always the year of the release, which are always 18 months supported. After that, you get no updates. The H is for half, and it used to have H1 and H2, but they stopped that about 3 or 4 years ago. And now there's only the H2, and why they bother to keep that H2 makes no sense to me, but I guess instead of saying it's the 2023 or 2024 version of Windows 11, this is the way they got the nomenclature and they decided to stick with it.
can you also explain, like I have an older Dell that, isn't good, it won't go up to 24. But the security, the 23, it was really a 10, but I was able to get it to, work on 11. But the difference, I'm told, is that I have the security capabilities, but not the features of 11.
Well, see, the thing is, if you don't have an 8th gen Intel processor or higher, or a Ryzen 2000 or higher, you are non-compliant. So the regular compliant system is supported Windows 11. Anything else that will take 11 is unsupported. So don't call Microsoft if you got a problem. They're not going to help you. Um, if you got a Core i processor, Core i3, Core i5, Core i7, you can run Windows 11 unsupported. If it's a AMD Phonom 2 or a Ryzen processor, and I think there were a few modern Athlons, they may also run Windows 11 unsupported or supported, depending on what it is. And the one area that's gray is those who have a machine that's based on Celeron Pentium. I've never seen anything explicit about those two types of processors as to whether they'll support 11 unsupported or not.
Is it a case that the unsupported, well, the difference is, I read this somewhere, I don't know where anymore, but that, you get this, you can do the security updates with 11, like an unsupported, processor that I have on the Dell.
Yeah,
It's
just
about
like the
4
machine
years
I'm
old.
on right now.
Yeah,
This
but
is
you
a-
don't get some of the features that Microsoft has.
That's correct. Because, for example, Explorer, File Explorer, excuse me, File Explorer has tabs in True 11, but on the unsupported, it doesn't have the tabs. There are other similar features, but you still get like a Copilot rather,
Yeah.
Copilot.
Pilot.
Copilot, yeah.
So you do have that. But most of what I have on a supported system, which is on the other machine, and this one here on an unsupported machine, I don't notice much of a difference for my needs and my uses.
Thank you. I knew if I asked you, you'd know the answer.
Oh, I've been playing with this. I even have an article somebody else wrote up that was published after 3 years of running Windows 11 unsupported and his points of view about that. And I agree with most of everything he said.
Is it a case that you can't use Copilot on a Windows 10?
No,
Oh,
I got 10. I got 10 galore. I got 11 galore. I got Linux galore. It works anywhere.
okay. I
But
just checked.
but on a Linux, you have to go into a browser and bring up Copilot. Whereas in 10 and 11, it's there if in the Edge browser. It's also there on the taskbar.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yes, Bert.
Well, I do have 24H2. I do have Microsoft 365. I do, which includes Microsoft Office, and I've had no trouble keeping it up. One flaw that I've found is sometimes when I go to print with HP Smart, it goes to a query background instead of printing right away. But other than that, everything seems to work perfectly and gets all the updates.
I know a lot of people that would not totally agree with you.
Well, I'm expressing what my experience.
I understood. There are a lot of other people besides yourself that are successfully running 24H2, but there are so many that have had a problem. Microsoft officially withdrew it, and I don't know of them having re-released it in general. I mean, right now, as an example, here's two flash drives. The top one is 24H2. The bottom one is 24H2 for unsupported systems. One of these days, if I ever get the time, we'll start playing with this. But right now, I do not have 24H2, mostly because I didn't update right away when 24H2 was released. And by the time I found out about the problems, I didn't want to touch it. But I found that I can download it, and I might have some machines that will upgrade to 24H2 supported or unsupported, and I may have some machines that'll have nightmares. Or I should say, I'll have.
Give us an example of a nightmare of what doesn't work.
Oh, I covered that in last month, and that there's used to be about 7 major categories. One of them was certain Western Digital black SSDs, not all of their SSD products, and these were M.2 NVMe ones. There were lots of people getting all kinds of blue screens of death for a variety of reasons. It's just crazy. And since I covered that in the meeting last month, there have been reports of several more problems that are in addition to the 7. So you probably got about 10 different issues right now. Some people never see the problems. Some people may.
Where is it? What you covered this? Is this one of the videos you were talking about, Bob? Uh, Online, or is this a paper that on CCS paper?
It's
Did
this
you
was.
cover it in the presentation? That's a video.
I'm trying to remember which one it was, but it probably out on the YouTube channel right now for Chicago Computer Society.
Okay.
But it would. It's not. It most likely it was at least touched upon maybe in the West Side and TNT, but the major was South Side, if I remember correctly.
Thanks,
Southside
Bob.
Computer Club was the main one I did a lot of presenting on.
Very good. Anybody using Gemini on their on their Android phone? I'm using Gemini and I've got some great stories. AI.
How many people are
I think
using
you're going off. Hey, you're going off topic here.
Okay.
We could go through stories later, but we're going off topic.
No, that's fine. We were talking Copilot and it reminded me that I like Gemini.
Okay. Okay, you like Gemini. We could explore this. Why do you like Gemini over Copilot?
Well, it's not over. It's the fact that it's Copilot, I have to use a laptop. I can't do it on my phone. And Gemini has, I guess there's a version, it's a Google app, and I guess you can get it on your Apple from what I understand. I learned this from Tech for Seniors on Monday. So it's not, it's public. You can find the information. But when you load it on your Android phone and you select the little icon on the bottom of it, it turns on the AI. So I have a new dog. I had a rescue dog. I had to put down my other miniature pinscher a few months ago. It was after 13 and a half years, and I was not in a good place. So I got a new one. And so for the hell of it, I said, draw me a picture of a miniature pinscher, 8 years old, 14 pounds, and it has black and tan coat. Well, Gemini came up with it, and there were 4 pictures. One picture you thought I took a picture of my dog. The other 3 were similar, but not as good. So that was one example. So my brother just came out of the hospital. He's in Kaiser Permanente in Los Angeles. He had 3 bypass surgeries. His younger brother. And so his wife told me she's really upset with him because he doesn't exercise. He's not doing healthy living. He sits and eats the TV. So she said she would appreciate if I talked to him. Well, he's younger than me, and I didn't want to be a father-child, discussion. So I put something together, and then I ran it through Gemini, but it's as good as you tell it. So I have to say, revise this from older brother's perspective, and not in a child parent way, but in a loving, caring way. And I was blown away. It took my 3 or 4 paragraphs, and it said, dear brother, and love Carl at the end, and so forth. And that's AI. You can't use it for searching like Google, but it does things that I don't know. It's just my experience. I'm sure I could do it with Copilot.
Thank you.
I use Copilot on my iPhone.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And I use ChatGPT on my iPhone. You can get the app on there and just call it up, and it's conversational. In other words, you could actually talk to it.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah, the idea is that you actually have a conversation with it and get it to refine your whatever it is you want it to do, and it'll do it for you.
Well, that's the whole thing with AI. That's the attribute. It is conversational. That's really the two are inseparable.
Right. Okay. New subject from our list. Ron, you want to pick out something? We haven't heard from Ron at all tonight. He's been very quiet back there.
He fell asleep.
Either that or else he just logged in. Ron, are you here? Yeah, he walked away from his thing. We know his little routine that Ron is doing. We'll have to have him put him on the spot later. Somebody else want to pick out a topic? Pete, you like our topics. Would you like to pick out something? Or Wayne? Bob, I'm not skipping over you. You got something in there, Bob?
How about the thing about your Windows might be holding your RAM hostage?
Windows might be holding my RAM hostage. How dare they do that? I mean, come on. Is this like something that is not new?
No, it's
I
not.
thought. Go ahead.
It's not new. I have seen this for God, I don't know how many years, and it doesn't matter much. But various applications you may be running may not release the RAM they reserved when you're done with them, and other ones will release it immediately. But this also applies to browsers. Your browser window has one chunk of memory itself. Then every tab has a chunk of memory on top of that. You close a tab, it may not release all that memory that was being taken up by that one tab. And you've got a good dozen tabs there. That means you're taking up quite a bit of memory there. And if you just close one of them, it may not release it. It varies program to program.
So it's kind of dependent on how well that program's written, right?
To some extent, yes.
So that when it closes out, it releases all the memory.
It's supposed to. In other words, if I had a program that reserved 1 gigabyte of space out of my RAM, and I'm now done with it, it should release that 1 gigabyte for other programs to use. But the biggest offender can be a browser if you are used to having multiple tabs open like you've got right now and like I have. I mean, I've had as many as around just shy of 1,400 tabs just in one browser across 13 open windows.
How much memory did that use?
Oh, I forget exactly, but you have another problem. That is how much video RAM is being reserved. Usually it can be as much as half of your memory. It depends on the hardware configuration of the computer as to how much of that RAM is reserved for shared video memory with the video controller. And that may or may not get released properly either.
I don't. This article talks about. I wonder about the angle of this article. It says the easiest way to free up your RAM on your computer is to use something like a memory cleaner.
Yes.
Why not just reboot?
Yeah.
Well, reboot, remember, used to take forever. Some people may still have say 3 or 4 minutes, and they also don't want to lose other things they have running. But the thing is, from Microsoft, they have PC Manager. It has in there a boost, And the boost will free up some of your RAM that is not really being used any longer and frees it up for other uses.
Okay. So they're talking about two particular apps in here, and they show in one of them that you could run this at startup. It'll automatically free up memory when it's below a certain percent.
Right. Whereas PC Manager, I think it's all manual, but they may have, since they're constantly developing it, they may have put in an optional automatic update also, where it'll free up space. But really, it's something that, depending on how you use it, there are a lot of people I know in a browser that will only have maybe two, three, four tabs open at any given time, and that's it. And then they don't come back to that same three or four tabs the next time they run the browser. They start clean with one tab. Whereas myself, I always restore whatever open tabs previously. But I have tools I have in order to put tabs to sleep better than the features that are in some of the browsers that will put your tabs eventually to sleep. I can do a mine on demand, and for example, sometimes it was brought up about YouTube. I have tons and tons of YouTubes doing research, and after I get about anywhere between a half a dozen and a dozen new YouTube video tabs, I'll clean out the content, keeping the tab and the URL. When I want to go back to look at the actual video, I just click on the tab. I click on the screen body, and it reloads it automatically.
Anyone else want to comment? Anyone experience this problem?
You have to, like I say, you have to have quite a bit. And I'm not saying you're incorrect by any means saying reboot the computer. That's true. But if you've got multiple things open, and some people do, they would have to shut down everything, saving their work, reboot the computer, and then bring everything back up that they still want to work on.
I understand. I mean, there's a lot of often scenarios in which you don't want to reboot your computer. Um, this, and I could respect that. And something like this may help if you get yourself in a bind. Do you want? So it looked like in reading that article, it said this is more of a problem if you're using like 8 gigs of RAM or less.
I experience it because of the way I do contiguous research,
Okay.
and that's with 16 gigs.
Right. Oh, okay. So you're the oddball.
I may be an oddball in that
You may
sense,
be.
but look at the number of people that are still using a 4 gigabyte RAM memory machine, and some have 8. And those will experience this problem more so than people with 16 to 32, even 64 gigs or higher.
Now, considering the fact that most of the people that have the older machines with low memory installed on there, they're going to be getting rid of those machines and moving up to a newer machine because they need to run Windows 11, assuming that the old machine with 4 or 8 gig is probably an older processor, doesn't have TPM2, blah, 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 blah. So is this really a concern in the long run?
It applies still even to 11, because
Okay.
I'm running 11 here. both
Has
supported
anybody,
and unsupported. And I use the cleaner in order to be able to free up memory I need for other uses.
okay. Does C Cleaner do this too?
No,
No.
No. But
uh,
doesn't it have a memory boost?
there is memory boost that's in PC
PC Manager.
from
PC Manager.
Microsoft. It's free, and there are other utilities for cleaning up memory also. How well they work, I don't know. I haven't tried any of those. I have done the PC Manager.
I
Many
just
times.
did that with mine. Yeah.
The utility that is listed first in the article is a GitHub project. So it's probably fairly independent.
Right.
And it's not really seeking a profit motive. So that one also is kept more up to date than the second one that the fellow mentioned.
So PC Manager looks like this.
Yeah, PC Manager, it just simply will clean it up. It doesn't run in the background all
See
the
that
time.
PC
Right.
boost? You click on it, and
Yeah.
if there's any memory that really isn't being used but tied up, it'll free it up.
Okay, so we got PC Manager. Here I got Boost.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I hit Boost, that might do something. Memory used. It did save me some memory. Look, it's freeing up some memory. It
Yeah.
took me from like 80 something down to
Down to
60%.
67, down to 50,
Yeah,
56.
down to 56% being used. So
Yeah.
it saved
And
me. So
and
this does this.
that means you can run another program or two in that freed up memory to get something in addition done to whatever you got running now.
Right.
So is it worth it? It costs you nothing other than the time to download it and install it. That takes about 4 years to download it and 20 years to get it configured up right.
So PC Manager is available for free from Microsoft, correct?
That's what I've been saying.
Okay.
And I've said that going back almost a year or better.
So for those who don't know, go to the, maybe Tim, you might want to look for that link and put it in the chat. And I'll just write this down as a topic.
Well, you can go to the Microsoft Store on Windows 10 or 11. It works
I-
on both.
I meant for everyone else's benefit.
I just ran the memory boost. When you run it during a Zoom session, you can get some pretty dramatic results for some
Yeah,
I
reason.
get it. Looks like that.
And it went from about 64% down to 34%.
Right,
And I have 16 gig of RAM.
right.
16 gig of RAM, and now only a third of it is being used.
But now you take like me as an example, and most people are not doing research. On up to 1,400 tabs across 13 or 14 windows. It about every 6 to 12 new tabs, I use the boost to free up that memory and get more done.
Yeah, what Windows does is the same thing that a phone will do. It will have processes running in the background. Now, there are times when you want Office or your favorite Office application to be running in the background because otherwise it takes forever to start up when you finally go to use it. But there are other apps you probably don't want running in the background, especially things like the Microsoft Store apps. And the Edge browser has a really bad reputation for continuing to run in the background and not freeing up the RAM and not freeing up other resources.
Oh, on Edge and Chrome, the normal function is to stay in RAM except for the display portion. And that way they figure you're going to keep coming back, coming back, coming back. I always turn it off in settings.
Yeah.
So I put in the link, I put in the chat the link to Microsoft's PC Manager, and it'll take you to this page here. This is what it looks like. You can also get it directly from the store.
And you don't have to bring up the whole thing because in the settings section, come back down a little bit, a little further down.
Further down,
No, the other direction.
the other
Sorry.
direction,
Go back up to towards the top.
towards the top.
All right.
This is not the app. This is the download page.
Okay. Now move it up just a hair.
I can't.
Why?
The top.
My scroll bar is at the top.
All right. Ooh, wait a minute. Just raise it up some so I can get to the screenshots. I can only see part of the
Oh,
screenshot.
down. You want to scroll down. Scroll down to the screenshots.
Okay. Now.
Oh, to there, to this.
Towards the bottom left side, there's one that's settings, and one of those will give you a desktop tab like, which you can add additional references to things like screenshot, calculator, and a few other odds and ends.
Okay, so this is the settings, what you were looking for.
Settings.
Yeah.
And
Okay, in the app itself. Before I was on the display, the download page, not the app.
Now they have
There you go.
they have done added the automatic smart boost, which you have off, but also there's one for start PC Manager automatically with Windows. I don't do that usually. On some machines I do. And then download reminders, etc. You have also the toolbox. Go to toolbox. It's right in the middle, left side. In here, if you have it at the top, you'll get a toolbar that varies in size, which you can have quick access to the boost function. You can add screenshot, screenshot folder, recorder, notepad, calculator, and a few other web tool type links if you want to. And you can position that on your right side, left side, or top side of your monitor. You can't put it on the bottom because the toolbar is there. At least I haven't, unless they've modified it. I originally it would not go down on replacing the toolbar. It might work if you have an auto hide feature turned on your toolbar where it disappears, giving you another half inch, 5/8 inch of screen. But you can, I'd have to have my desktop to be able to display mine offhand, but it's nothing great. It's just a case where that toolbox gives you, you don't have to bring up this screen here and do everything under home protection, storage, apps, etc. You go to the toolbar and you can access quite the boost, and without bringing this up here, you can do some other odds and ends if you do them frequently. But I've demonstrated this 2 or 3 times that over the past 12 months.
Cool little application. And like I said, I put the link for this download. It is available for free directly from Microsoft.
Mm-hmm. And it works in 10 and 11.
It works in 10 and 11. Don't know about 8.
I doubt it. I won't say absolutely no, but I'd be surprised. If I remember correctly, it came out for 11 first, and then they ported it back to 10.
Hey, I tried download it and went to the link you provided in the chat, and it said download, and I was looking for it, and under my download, I'm using Windows 11. It says Microsoft PC Manager installer was blocked because this type of file can harm your PC.
Every piece of software can harm your PC,
Yeah, that's for
depending on
sure.
where you get it.
I know, but I can't open it. I can't open it up and
Usually
follow you guys.
it will give you options such as, do you want me to keep this? And you click on keep and it keeps it. In some instances, you have to give it an excuse, but it depends on what in 11 are you using for protection? Just Microsoft software, or are you using third party?
Yeah, I'm glad you're here to hold my hand because I clicked on the three dots and keep came up, and now I'm going to open it up. I couldn't open it until I did keep, which I wouldn't have known unless you
That's
grabbed
been
my.
a feature for 18 months at least.
Yeah, that basically grows out of Windows Defender.
Yeah. They're trying to protect you from yourself. But if you think you know what you're doing, you think you're really safe in doing what you're doing, let's put it this way. If you don't believe in downloading from the Microsoft Center itself, why are you on Windows?
No, it's taking a while to install. It's installing right now.
It's not that big a deal. It's
No,
not
it's
that
not a
big.
complaint. It's just
Actually, it's a case where
experience.
most of what PC Manager will do are taking a whole bunch of scattered utilities that have been in Windows for years and years and years. Most people don't know about those tools. And this brings them all together, plus gives you the memory cleanup tool and allows you to do some monthly or more frequent deletion of your trash files from within PC Manager. You can do disabling of startup apps you don't want at startup time, and the program, odds are, will still run anyhow. You have some other tools galore, and shortcut in that toolbar to be able to bring up the calculator quickly, or take screenshots, or recorder, etc., etc., etc. That was on that toolbox display that Sanford showed.
Okay, kid, two questions. I clicked on boost, but I don't know what it did.
It's
Take,
looking at your memory and trying to determine if there's any memory that really isn't needed and being used by a program or more than one program, and releasing it back for your use.
well, maybe
That's
it's
all
not.
you're going to see.
I clicked on it, but maybe it's running because I haven't seen any reaction yet.
Well, it shows you a little rocket going across while it's
Yeah.
running, and then when
Okay,
it
it did.
stops, the amount of memory that it said it was using. Let's say arbitrarily it was saying you had 72 gigabytes. I mean, 7.2 gigabytes or something like that. Then it'll say maybe you're down to 5.4.
Well, Sanford, you said that you showed what it did. I'm trying to see what it did for me.
It's right in the center.
Pardon?
It's right in the center.
I clicked on boost, and what do you want me to look at?
Right above it is tells you what it's doing, and it one of the numbers went to 0, and the other one decreased in the amount.
Oh, okay. I didn't interpret it. Okay, 0 temporary files, so those are cleaned up. And then it says 48% memory usage.
Right.
I don't know what
But you don't know what your original number was before you clicked on boost.
No, I didn't look at it. Now, can you make it an icon on the desktop?
Like I
So
said, you go to the toolbox, and you the top switch you turn on, and you can add additional features to it besides the boost. But it's only for really doing the boost and or bringing up that manager on the desktop.
Well, I opened up Toolbox and I'm looking to put it on my desktop. I'm looking.
So the top thing that's on there, it says show toolbar on desktop.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, turn that on.
Turn that on,
Very
and
good.
then you'll see, right after you turn it on, you'll see a new toolbar pop up in front of you.
Right.
Do you see that?
I got too many open things on my. Well, it has to be.
It's a small rectangular box that comes up, and it'll have a.
And you can move that to one of three of the sides I know, and whatever is more convenient for you. When your mouse goes around where the toolbar was put by you, it'll pop out, allowing you to make a selection.
What's the name of it on the box? I'm looking.
No, there is no name. It's
Well,
just
I'm looking for the square box you mentioned.
rectangular box. It should appear almost right above, right over PC Manager. When you turned it on, turn it off.
Oh.
Hit the bar that turns it off, and you'll see it either goes away, and then turn it back on. You'll see something else pop up. It's the easiest way to see it.
It's sitting on top of another.
Now
It's sitting on top of the
put
Zoom app.
You can put the mouse on that, hold down your left key, and move it anywhere you want to.
God, I'm glad you guys
Usually
are holding
to the
my
edge of the screen.
Okay, it's done. I'm going to renew my membership.
I love it. I love it.
And
As
I'll
a
buy
matter of fact,
Tim a cup of
you can also
I'll buy
throw
Tim
us.
a cup of coffee too.
Yeah, there you go. You can give us an extra cup of coffee. I like that, Carl.
I'll send you my invoice.
I'm glad I tuned in instead of watching how the universe works.
Carl, I'll send you my invoice.
Okay. And I have a circular file for all those invoices too.
I don't doubt it. I do too.
No, thank you, Tim. That was very good.
Okay, we got time for a couple more subjects. Ron never chimed in. Ron, are you still there?
Of course I am.
Ah, he came back. He is awake. Ron, we'd like you to pick out a subject from the list of stuff I sent out.
That would mean I would have had to look at that list.
And it would be on that email that I sent you. You would have to read that email. I hope you read those emails. So take a moment to pick something out and we could talk about it.
I got a quick question on when you talked about the one previously, there was PC, it was called Win Memory Cleaner, and was the other one PC Manager, or was there another cleaner?
Oh, in that article?
Yeah.
There were two cleaners.
There was two items in there.
One was Win Memory Cleaner, and the other one was what?
Carl,
Yeah.
you have the invitation. You have the full list of articles.
Yeah,
You just
I'm
have to
looking at it right here.
You
I got
just
it right
have
here.
to click on the URL and bring up the article.
Okay, well, I thought maybe you remembered, that's all.
You think our memory is that good? It's called Win Memory Cleaner, and the other one is called Memory Cleaner.
Oh, okay, that's what I wanted.
But they're by two.
I'm taking notes here, and I left that one off.
Okay, just so you know, these are not Microsoft software.
Right.
So use them at your own risk, check them out, make sure they're okay, and let us all know.
Well, like CC Cleaner, you know.
Yeah, right.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I just wanted to complete my notes. I still use pen and paper.
Virtual. Someone else like to bring up a topic?
You never got from Ron because he got interrupted.
Yeah, Ron never picked out. He's still reading that list. He can't come up with something. He's bewildered with it's so much information there he can't digest. Go ahead, Ron.
It is so long, and I have to read every single word.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. Okay, so now we know you can read.
Well, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Well, how about 10 useful run commands every Windows user should know?
10 useful run commands.
Third from the bottom of your list.
I know. I'm getting there.
Third from the bottom.
I got it. 10 useful run commands every Windows user should know. And the first one is what? What are the 10 useful run commands? Run. Use msconfig. Is this one of them? First is msconfig. Yes, we should all know how to run msconfig. Does anyone in the group not know how to run msconfig? I can't see hands, so you'll have to speak. Okay, everyone knows how to use msconfig. Good, we can go on. Because you just go to the run bar and type msconfig, and it'll give you your startup information, your boot, blah, blah, blah. How about msinfo32? Get your system specs. Oh, that's a good one.
That comes in handy.
msinfo32. That really, it does. Because it'll tell you what OS version, what build. It'll tell you your hardware, what type of processor, speed, number of cores.
You may have skipped it at the top. I'm not sure. But hold down your Windows key on your keyboard and hit R. That brings up a run box, and put in the name of the application, just as it shows here, and it'll run it in most instances with no problem. There are a few commands that require administrator privilege for you to see this stuff, and there's a trick to doing that too, and still do it from a standard user account.
Okay, so this appwiz.cpl is the place where you would uninstall programs. You could see what programs are installed on your machine, and you can uninstall.
Be careful. But it's not as good as Revo.
Not as good of a process as Revo uninstaller, but it will get the job done, and it's native to Windows versus Revo is an add-on product. So it's good to know about.
With this one, you'll leave stuff in your registry so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you're a person who likes to test out various pieces of software all the time, that's going to slow you down over time.
Correct. Desk.cpl. Now, this isn't one I've used. Oh, change their screen resolution and orientation. So this is your desktop. I've never used this one. Adjust your mouse settings with main.cpl. I guess if you need to change your left click, right click, how long your tails are, how fast it's going to be. Establish a remote connection. Now, why would I need to do this?
If you're a person like some ham operators out in the mountain states, they have a repeater station up on top of the mountain. They may live way down the mountain, and so they're using the remote access to manage the computer in a shack at the top of the mountain. That's one example.
You have to have the other one sitting in the remote one running this terminal service all the time?
Yep. It's it's just a computer. It's called a headless computer. No keyboard, no mouse, no monitor, just a computer running as a server-like system that's running various applications, and you managing it from your home.
Has anyone used this function?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Ron. Good. Ron, tell me how you use it.
So if I have two computers, I have a laptop that I'm using, and my main computer is running in another room. So I'm on the same network, MSTSC will only work if you can communicate port to port, computer to computer. So generally, over the internet, unless you have your firewalls open, you generally cannot connect using MSTSC, which is Microsoft Terminal Services Console. That's what
Okay.
MSTSC stands for. But in-house, I'm on the same network, and I want to remote control my remote computer. I want my file I need is on the remote computer, or something is happening on the remote computer, and I'm on my laptop. Yeah, I'll just MSTSC or RDP, which is effectively the same thing, and go and be a remote session on another computer in my building, in my home or in my office or wherever,
So-
without having to connect wires or anything like that. They're just both on the same network and they're both on at the same time.
So you, on the other machine that you want to connect to,
Yeah.
you're running MSTSC.
No, it's always there. It's remote desktop.
Okay, I'm being
As
kind
long
of
as you
being
have the
anal.
remote desktop service running,
Okay.
run MSTSC to connect to that remote computer.
Oh, so you could connect, in theory, I could, because it's always running, I could connect to any PC that's in my network in my house that's up and running by just running MSTC, whatever.
As long as you don't have the service disabled, yes. So some people are real nervous about that. They don't have it running because they don't want to. It's also I'm trying to remember now if it's available on Windows Home Edition. It might not be available on Windows Home Edition, but I don't use Windows Home, so I can't talk to that.
Okay. All right. We'll have to try that. I'll give this one a whirl. Calibrate your screen. Oh, for the accuracy of the colors. I guess, yeah, that would be interesting, good thing to know. I don't know how. Display color calibration tool. That's cool. I didn't know there was a color calibration tool.
Are you still in the 10 useful run commands, or where are you?
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that. To make your colors appear accurately. To get started, move this window onto your display that you want to calibrate. Okay. And next what? Next. Oh, you just walk through this thing. This is cool. I have to check this out. Did not know this was an option here.
Now at the bottom of your displayed screen is another tool. You can run it. It's been there in Windows since at least Windows 3, and it's part of PC Manager we just previously discussed.
Okay.
So you don't have to run this command. You can bring up the PC Manager and use its cleaning thing, which is running that same software.
Okay. Let's see. We can use remove junk in old files.
That's
This
right.
is kind of like disk cleanup.
It is disk cleanup.
It is disk cleanup. They're
It's
just
the same
using
thing as properties of your C drive, D drive, E drive, etc. on your Windows system. It gives you a disk cleanup button, and there you have to go through 2 stages to totally remove all the junk from your system if you're in a standard account. If you're in the administrator's account, you only have the one screen.
Didn't they get rid of or change this display where you can't clean up system files or something?
No, that's if you're in the standard, you have to go down here on that screen. It says clean up system files. That's
Okay.
stage 2 to get everything off your system.
Right.
Local, otherwise it's only showing you the local stuff to your standard account. If you are in the standard account when you bring it up, then you'd have to press that other button there on the left side, and be able to get everything that's garbage removed. If you do it on the administrator login, you only get the one screen. It covers the main things of the system. It does not touch what's in the individual user standard accounts.
Gotcha. All right.
But
gotta
in
make-
a PC Manager, it doesn't care. It does everything.
Okay, resource Resmon, I think, oh, that's your resource manager
Right.
or resource monitor. And then the last down to here, what do we got? Navigate efficiently. Oh, a single dot and a double dot. I've never used this.
Sounds like you're getting a drink. A single
Yeah.
shot or a double shot.
It'd be, okay, I'll take a double. This looks interesting.
You can't be afraid of these commands. They've been built into Systems 32 folder under Windows folder, going back as much as Windows 3.0. And some of them might even go back further than that.
Okay. Does anyone have any last questions for the group?
I do have a note to tell. So,
Yes.
so Tim brought up doing the Windows key and R to bring up the run box.
Yes.
So I'm a naturally lazy IT person. So I've learned that you can just hit the Windows key and just start typing the name without having to hit the R key. You don't have to, and it will bring up a list of options. Like if I want to run, let's say I want to run DCCW, I can hit the Windows key and type DCCW. No window, no field, but it will find DCCW and allow me to run it as an administrator. If it's an option, it will come up. It'll even give me show me the instructions for running it. So it's something to try sometime when you are as lazy as I am.
All right. With that, anyone got any last questions for the group?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Carl. Make it quick.
When I sync between my for my contacts on my phone and my PC, I have sync. But what I'm noticing on my contacts, I have duplicates. In other words, it's exactly duplicate of what I put in the contact. So somehow, it seems like when I don't know why it's doing that. Is the question.
Very often, there will be a very small difference between the two entries. And
Well,
it's sometimes
well-
not something you'll see in the title.
Right.
No, it's not. It's not in the title. In other words, if I put in here, something, whatever.
Somebody's got an address and the next entry doesn't have an address.
Well,
Like a
no,
home address.
what I'm saying is within the same contact name. If I put down my dog's name, Manny, and then I put down when I got him and so forth, and then if for some reason I don't know if I forget it's in there, I go on my PC and it's not on my PC, it's on my phone. So then I'll type it in on my PC. Basically, it's exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know, when it syncs up, it seems like it duplicates it for some reason.
It will either duplicate the
for letter.
Yeah, it will either duplicate the information or else it will take the entry from the PC and add it, even though the phone has one.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's not creating another contact with the same name. It's embedded in the contact.
Yeah, it won't create a new file name, in other words. It'll just add to that file by appending to it.
Yeah,
And
I end up deleting it and it's fine, but it's a nuisance.
Yeah. That is normal and expected behavior when you're when you're entering new data from another device.
Okay, that's what's happening. So there's nothing I can say remove duplicates or?
It isn't really a duplicate because it's adding to the same entry.
Yeah, it's not a duplicate entry like you merge two different contact
Right.
names, because you could do merge very easily.
Yeah, deduplicating does not search within entries.
And you know what it does, Bob? Because you got like on my phone, it'll say you exceeded your 1,000 characters, and I can't do anything. You have to delete something. And I can't.
Anyone,
Why am I running out of characters? And I scroll down, and the damn same stuff above is repeated.
yeah, that's why you want to create the entry on just one device and
Okay.
sync
Well,
it across, and then
I figured that, but I was hoping there was a way to say not duplicated, but I guess not.
yeah, you don't want to start assuming that when you haven't synced yet, that the entry is missing. Sync first, then, if necessary, create something.
Okay, good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, sync then edit.
Very
Not
good.
the other way around. Not the other
Good
way around.
show. It was a good show. It was well worth it.
Okay. Everybody, thank you for attending. And I want to note, I'm going to end the recording here. Say thank everybody for attending tonight's meeting.
Record.